And we'll get to all those stories in a few minutes. But first tonight, we want to talk about this fight unfolding on the IU Bloomington campus. This debate over what to do with hundreds of students who are quarantining in Greek houses. I mean, should they be forced to leave, or does that lead to larger issues? So for tonight's big story, we want to take a look at what comes next if these students suddenly have to find a new place to live. We're also going to dig into the conversation this debate is now sparking tonight all across the country. And we're sharing a tool to keep parents informed on what's happening on your kid's campus.
With more than 2,000 students living in Greek housing here in Bloomington, the big question tonight is, if these homes close, where are the students supposed to go? And the other big question, will this even happen?
I have a couple friends in frats that were in close contact with people who tested positive. And then I had to go into quarantine for a couple of days too, just because my boyfriend was with him.
Cassie Stofers isn't part of a sorority, but a lot of her friends are. She says finding your own apartment in Bloomington is not easy.
It's scary for them. I don't know where they're gonna live.
The university says national organizations need to help students find alternate arrangements, but many students don't know where to go, not wanting to go home and spread the virus.
If they leave, they're just spreading it everywhere else. I think if they quarantine in their homes with the people they've been living with the whole time, I think that's the best case and get healthy.
The interfraternity council at IU is calling this decision irrational and dangerous.
My plan this year was to live in beta. You know, with this new news, I'm scrambling, my friends are scrambling.
Cameron Gutterman is part of the university's IFC.
And it's just another thing that the school expects us to figure out overnight.
IU doesn't have any authority to close Greek housing, and the national IFC is saying all homes should remain open. It's two conflicting statements as the number of cases and quarantined students continue to grow.
We wanted to give you a closer look at the situation in Monroe County right now. This is the spike in cases that we have seen just in the last week. Monroe County reported its highest days of the pandemic right here. 56 cases on Sunday and another 56 on Tuesday. Now, when we add in this dotted line, which is the 7-day average, you can see how quickly this trend is climbing here. Now we took things a step further to see where these new cases are coming from. Turns out that 86% of the cases are Hoosiers under the age of 29, so this would include your college-age crowd and grade school kids. Now, what's happening at IU is sparking a nationwide conversation tonight about how to handle outbreaks in Greek housing. The North American Interfraternity Conference represents thousands of chapters all across the country. They sent this statement tonight saying Greek houses should remain open with quarantine protocols to minimize spread of the coronavirus to outside communities. And they also referenced Dr. Fauci's recommendations after he addressed college outbreaks just this week.
We don't want them to be sent home because that's a surefire way of seeding communities throughout the country.
Now, we've talked a lot about these quarantines at IU Bloomington, but how are other Indiana schools faring right now? Indiana State just announced it's pausing all Greek activities with a disproportionate number of fraternity and sorority members now under quarantine. And Purdue just announced a majority of its COVID cases on campus stem from shared housing. So far, 8 houses are under full quarantine in West Lafayette. 15 are partially isolated. And that wraps up our big story this evening. Remember, a lot of universities are sharing weekly COVID updates online. We're going to post the links to the big dashboards on our website. That way you can keep up with what's happening at your student school.